Today, we are going to learn about aquatic nuisance species.
So my name is Mr. Jim, and just like these other guys you're going to get to meet today, we all work for the Department of Natural Resources. Hey, I'm going to show you some different critters that are what we call not native or invasive or aquatic nuisance species. They're invasive or aquatic nuisance species. These are ones that are not supposed to be here. Now they've been introduced here either one of two ways, either by people, which is the most common way, or by a natural event, things like hurricanes or floods. But the most common way typically is by people. So let's take a look at some of these. This is a grass carp. It's one of 4 species of Asian carp. Now Asian carp can be a really problematic species throughout the entire U.S. Obviously when you hear the term Asian carp, they're obviously not supposed to be from here, right? These guys are actually overseas. But unfortunately, many of them have been introduced into the U.S. But he's got a cousin called a silver carp. Now silver carp get to be really big, taking food away from our native fish, so that's a big problem. These are one of 2 species of catfish that are now in the Satilla that aren't supposed to be there that we're trying to get out. This is the blue, he's species number 1. The second species here is called a flathead catfish. This one's obviously a little bit bigger, but this is still a baby. So this guy, when he gets to be fully grown, can reach sizes up for upwards of about 100 pounds, okay? So again, a really big catfish. Not quite as big necessarily as the blue catfish, but still a very big, large catfish. This is actually called an armored catfish. Now armored catfish don't get really big. This guy's pretty big. So these are called Asian tiger shrimp. They get the name because of the tiger stripes on their back. Now these guys obviously are not native to here either, but unfortunately we now find these off the Georgia coast. These guys obviously are a threat to our native shrimp, which are much smaller because again, they're competing for the same resources. In some cases, these guys are actually competing directly with our native shrimp. Some of our problems are not always fish though. Sometimes it can be something as simple as a plant. This is actually something called water hyacinth. Now water hyacinth is a very popular aquarium plant. This is one that's popular in the aquarium trade. It produces a really pretty purple flower that a lot of people like, and it floats on top of the water, which makes it kind of pretty in an aquarium. But here's the thing, this particular plant, it likes to grow in huge mats, and it will keep expanding in size until when you put it outside into a lake or something, it could eventually cover the entire top of that lake, right? Which is a really big problem. Now it's not always in the water where we see these animals causing problems. Sometimes there are animals on land that cause problems, like this guy. This is actually called a wild boar or a wild hog or a feral hog, okay? Now these guys obviously don't belong here either.
Let's go over what we learned. What type of fish are naturally in a lake or river? Native fish. Other than by humans, what is another way that non-native fish can enter a body of water? By natural influences like floods and hurricanes. True or false? All non-native species are fish. False. True or false? Non-native species can damage the local environment. True. Why is water hyacinth a dangerous plant? It can grow to cover an entire lake.